it's already spiraled out again into the mainstream media. People say,
Oh, Will Smith's in terrible shape. He's fat. I can't believe he's going to get in shape.
we have to stop doing it. Simon Miller, the board a-hole here, leader of the BLC, the Big Little Club. I do not talk about it enough. Doesn't matter if you're big, doesn't matter if you're little. You can be in the fitness club. You can come to the fitness palace of love. Because it's not about how you look, it's about how you feel and the fact you have decided to come on this journey with us and try and get in the best shape of your life. Even if you don't want to get the best shape of your life, do I think that you should? Yes, but it's completely up to you. And we are back to celebrities today because it's just going mad this week after you saw the Mark Wahlberg video yesterday, because Will Smith has done a bunch of posts and they look a little something like this. And the first one went live a couple of days ago. There he is in some form of tracksuit. I'm going to assume that's his house. He's done very well, Will Smith. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I really like Will Smith. I like most of his movies. I like him. When he's on a chat show, I will go out of my way to watch it. I just think he's a pretty cool guy. But he has captioned it with, I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm in the worst shape of my life. And you look at him, and technically, that's probably true. We're going to get into this in just 1 second. But given how many times we've seen Will Smith looking ripped and looking jacked and looking in good shape, is that probably some of the worst shape he's ever been in within his life? Yes. That is probably true. And then we swipe up to the next one where we have him here, where we have some kind of video boomerang thing of him standing in front of a white curtain. And yes, he's pushing his belly out. And once more, if you want to say, that's not how I expect Will Smith to look, that makes perfect sense. And we go into the description again. It says, this is the body that carried me through an entire pandemic and countless days grazing through the pantry. Something I'm sure we can all relate to. I love this body, but I want to feel better. No more midnight muffins. This is it. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Teaming up with YouTube to get my health and wellness back on track. I hope it works. And he's tagged a bunch of people. So essentially, this is tying into some promotion that he is going to do for a YouTube show where he's going to get into really, really super duper decent shape. And I bet there'll be a movie at the end of it to tie it all in. Now, as a project, I think it's fascinating. I think it will be great to see what he does do, what he doesn't do, what he does talk about, and what he doesn't talk about, because there's going to be a whole area that he will not touch, probably when it comes to special magical supplements. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he will pull back the curtain on that, but I doubt it massively. But the thing with me, and if we go into the comments on the first one especially, because that was when, nobody realized what he was doing, not really the right terms. With the second one, it's like, okay, it's for a project. It's not just, hey, I'm sharing my body with the world. The cool thing is that he got a lot of positive reinforcement, which is, I think, important. You're Will Smith. You can be in whatever shape that you want. Genius. Daddy O. This is the most amazing thing in the history of social media. Time to put the work in, bro. Yeah. Lewis Hamilton did a laughy thing like that. And Schwarzenegger says, Will, you poor baby, I'm crying for you. Even though you're still in better shape than 90% of America, keep pumping. And I hadn't actually seen that comment, but what a great segue that gives to me. Because that is the point. That is the point. Now, Will Smith has never said, oh, I'm fat, oh, I'm overweight, blah, 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 blah. He just said that I'm in the worst shape of your life. But there is still connotations and there is still ways that people are going to read this. And I think that is what is so important here. Will Smith, as I continue to look down here on my phone, that is not bad shape. Like, it's not. Like, is he carrying maybe a bit more body fat than he wants to? Sure. But he's a 53-year-old man. He's obviously carrying excess pounds to maybe what a doctor would tell him to do, or maybe that he feels comfortable with. And I think it's really important that in the comments or in his description, he mentioned that he wants to feel good. At no point did he kind of mention the way that he looked. But that is not a bad body. That is not a bad body. At 53 years of age, you can be in much, much better shape. I'm not saying that. But the biggest problem we have at the moment in society, that's right, I'm getting on my high horse, is that there was a picture of Jason Momoa a few years ago. Boom, it appears on screen right now. And people were saying, oh, look at his dad, Bob. Can't believe it. Jason Momoa is out of shape. Are you flabbing kidding me? Have you gone crazy? Are you smashing your head into walls in the evening? Jason Momoa looks absolutely fine there. And again, sure, if we're going to bring up comparison shots, you can say, well, when he was Acuman, he looked far more ripped. But you are allowed to be ripped and you're allowed to be not ripped. None of these people are obese. None of these people, I bet, are even out of the BMI scale, although I hate the BMI scale. But even that, they'd probably be fine. And if Will Smith, especially Jason Momoa, if they whip their tops up in front of their doctors and they had some kind of health problem, I doubt they're going to say it's related to weight. I doubt they say it's going to be in relation to excess body fat. I don't have laser eyes, so I don't know what percentage body fat Will Smith is there. And again, I want to make it very clear, I am not saying that he shouldn't go out of his way to try and get in the shape that he wants to go in, but we also have to promote a more positive viewpoint when it comes to what quote unquote is acceptable and isn't acceptable when it comes to your average Joe. Because fair play to Will Smith. He's going to be able to employ a bunch of trainers, eat the right thing, and have himself taken care of, and you shouldn't be down on him for that. And it's great that he has all of these things in his wheelhouse that he can take advantage of. You should never sort of get mad about that. You should aim to try and get the same thing if you're able to do it. You do not have to be 245 pounds and 6% body fat in order to decide that you have a body that is acceptable for the world. And I do think that we are moving in that kind of direction because of things like Instagram and because of things like Photoshop, which do portray a falsehood when it comes to actually what you may be able to achieve in the gym. And sort of mainstream media is getting hold of this all the time when it comes to blokes and men, because anorexia has been a thing for years and it's still terrible. I'm not, saying that at all. But bigorexia is their new exciting thing, and they go and talk to, young men that are going to gyms and saying they feel a tremendous pressure on their shoulders to look a certain way, and then they fall into taking steroids and perform enhancing drugs and everything like this. And I can completely understand that, right? Now, I go to the gym because I love it and I keep it as natural as I possibly can. I take creatine and protein. I mean, some people want to get into that. But it doesn't mean I don't look in the mirror sometimes and think, man, I look terrible. Especially at the moment, I haven't trained for 2 weeks. Because obviously, if you know, I had to have surgery and I've been told you're not allowed to lift anything until I get the green light. Otherwise, I may die. And there's no point being big in a box. I'd rather be small in real life, but obviously I want to be big, jacked, and also walking around planet Earth. But there is that kind of stigma. And so many people feel the need to ensure that they do look like these people they're seeing on social media, which is why I don't think Will Smith has fallen into this territory at all. In fact, I think the message he put out there was pretty good. I think he's gone out of his way to, again, not say, oh, I look fat, I look terrible, rah, 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 and even said that he loves this body. And that's awesome. But it's already spiraled out, again, into the mainstream media where people say,
oh, Will Smith's in terrible shape, he's fat, I can't believe he's going to get in shape.
But we have to stop doing it. We have to stop doing it. If you look like that and you're happy with your body, and then all of a sudden you're being told, even subconsciously, that it's not the way to look, you may be strong enough to handle it and more power to you, but it may actually start racking away at your brain, and then you may start doing things that you don't want to do, or worse still, you may just not be very happy anymore, and that can lead you down a path you don't want to go down. If you know that you are eating a bunch of bad food and you know that you have health-related issues to that and that you are obese or quite overweight, that is something that you should sort, right? I'm not going to hear and bark at you and tell you 100% should do it because it's your life and that's just how I live mine, right? It's still something that you do need to sort at some point because it's probably going to come round and bite you in your ass. But if you just look like that, a person that is healthy, we'll call it, healthy. So maybe you do a little bit of cardio here and there, you're not interested in lifting weights, and yeah, maybe you have a few muffins or whatever the hell Will Smith was eating at midnight, but more or less you can get through your life without any real negativities, then you're smashing it. You're doing great. Going to the gym doesn't make you any better or any worse than anybody else. You should be doing some kind of exercise because again, it's good for you and it will probably extend your life for a little bit. But this whole idea of what's your excuse is allowed to be, well, I didn't want to go today. You live within your own world and you know the parameters inside of that, and you shouldn't be punishing yourself, but at the same time, you should be taking care of yourself. And we have gone way off track here, but I already know what some people will do when they see this. I've seen it already. They will extrapolate it and they will present it differently because it gets clicks and because it ties into a certain image that people want to put out. And if you also as well, if you do look like that and you put in the time and you put in the work, then you should be able to pat yourself on the back. But at the same token, you are still on the same level if you're doing the complete opposite. Either way, I'll be honest with you, I watched this YouTube show by Will Smith. I think it will be absolutely interesting. And hopefully, knowing what he's like as well, I bet he does do it. He will just put out a message where it's all about body positivity and appreciating what you've got and not worrying about, I don't know, skin marks or cellulite or, things that really get under your skin, ironically. Because we all have those and we're all going to have those. We're never going to look exactly how we want to look because that's just not how the world works. So yes, Will Smith apparently has gotten fat. Not his words by websites that I read, but it's not true. That wasn't even words. It's just not true. That is not fat. That is just a dude who, like he said, had a few midnight snacks and probably wasn't exercising as hard as he was in the past. And then in 6 months, he'll be back to the Will Smith that we know and love. Although I still know and love him, don't know him. I still love him looking like that because ultimately, does it really matter? Now, please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm always intrigued. Hit the subscribe button as well. That would rock. Like and share the video. Otherwise, there's a bell, ding, ding. You can click it and that's when you know when other videos are going live. There's another video on the screen. We also have the Power 13 cookbook by my man, Greg Doucette. I am in it. a bunch of healthy meals so you can sustain your diet while also eating great, or at least that's the idea behind it anyway. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to help support the channel financially, because we ain't doing gangbuster views. You'll know when we start doing gangbuster views because I'll probably start mentioning it as much. Instagram and Twitter at SimonMiller316, SimonMiller.BigCartel.com. But otherwise, be kind to yourself today. And if you are trying to get in shape, just take it every day as it comes. You'll get there eventually, although actually you won't, because when you do get there, you'll then want to get in better shape. That's why you've got to enjoy the gym, and that's why passion is key. I'll see you on the next one.